Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for September 27th, 2021, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Just for a moment, visualize yourselves watching the golden shimmer of a sunset off of the ocean water. Your toes nestled in the warm sand as you listen to the gentle waves splashing on the shore. Take a vacation from your problems today. Rest in this feeling of sweet relaxation that's always available. Who said that vacations aren't instant and free? In a single moment, in one stroke, which is a lot of people think that this is an arduous task, to say the least, you can become enlightened. People think it's a gradual process, but it isn't. It's not something you have to invent. It's something that you have to discover. It's already there. It is not something that you have to manufacture. If you have to manufacture it, of course, it will take time, but it is already there, Osho. A lot of people have an idea of spiritual enlightenment, and it happens when you're in a state of no mind, where the mind is so calm and at ease that it seems to disappear, and only the witness remains. When your mind has completely let go of this world and is completely non-attached to everything in it, from a place of love, peace, and compassion, then and only then are you truly free. The mind is our greatest cause of suffering and is what allows us to be liberated from it. It is the great mechanism. We need this to transcend all thinking and discover this awesome natural state of bliss within us all. Now, if you truly want to reach the state of spiritual enlightenment, the first thing you want to do is stop doing. Stop doing whatever you are trying to accomplish in your life for this moment. Stop thinking, stop efforting, and stop trying to achieve anything for a few moments right now. Just trust this experience. Let go of all your intense inner efforting for the rest of today. Just for today. Relax into your body and realize in your heart of hearts that you are an infinite being and will never, ever, ever, ever die. Allow for this one simple truth to be found in each experience today, and a dynamic shift in your consciousness will occur. Secondly, know that each experience you have in this life is the right experience. Every lesson all of us are here to learn is being provided to us through each life experience. And remember, nothing is by chance. The universe is constantly giving us all the consciousness we need to embrace each experience, and each experience is designed to awaken, enlighten, and empower us. When our interpretation of each experience includes the knowing that there is a divine energy who loves and accepts us just as we are, we can never have a bad experience. This universe is an infinitely intelligent and conscious energy which is always supporting us to awaken into our greatest potentiality. We crazy spiritual seekers, spending our lives trying to awaken instead of resting in the awakening that is already here, now, and always. Kathleen McCarthy. Our problems, anxieties, and personal issues are like particles of sand in between our toes, depending on how we walk. They either grind at us or massage our feet. Our problems are always our greatest spiritual teachers in disguise. So explore each of them with a childlike curiosity, and they will reveal themselves as the brilliant messengers that they are. We have a greater wisdom inside of us. It simply needs a bit of nurturing and compassion. If we feel stuck and cannot see what our issues and problems are, simply practice being grateful for whatever is in your life right now and enjoy it. If a certain problem or issue keeps arising in you and will not go away, sit with it. Face it directly. Ask yourself, what is the exact issue I would like more clarity and understanding about? If need be, write it down, voice it out loud. Find out what this issue sounds like and talk with this other voice inside you who is creating this issue. Listen. Pay attention to what is underneath the mental chatter happening in your heads. It is pointing you towards the divine answer. Follow it with curiosity. Let it show you the way through. Each issue in your life repeats itself because it is unlearned and ignored. Once you pay attention to the wake-up call by realizing the infinite being you truly, really are, your problems will dissolve immediately, and spiritual enlightenment presents itself as your natural state of being. Spiritual enlightenment is a state of pure awareness that is free from the chattering mind and connected with the infinite, all-loving, powerful source in this enlightened state. The world is absolutely perfect as it is. We feel, see, and experience the divine order in everything. This is a great warm love in our hearts all the time, and every action in our lives become very, very, very easy because our essence is always at ease. The awesome state of spiritual enlightenment occurs naturally when we deepen in our sadhana, meaning spiritual practice, and are consistent with it. A constant focus towards the unlimited source of love, consciousness, and power creates a more enlightened, empowered, loving state of being in you. When you've raised your vibration enough, your mind will relax and see the blessing in everything. This relaxation is a state of emptiness where you are surrendered to the vastness of this infinite universe. Supreme states of bliss are available to each and every single one of us right now. And there's 1,000 paths to enlightenment and 1,000,000 doors we can walk through to experience this moment as divine. One of these precious doors is not so easy or obvious to see, yet we unconsciously step through it every single day. It is the perpetual swinging door of judgment. We are so often unaware whenever we are passing judgment and oblivious of how it is a secret passageway to the most enlightened and heavenly state of being. No matter if we are conscious human beings or not, the mind is constantly judging ourselves, other people, this world, and anything that it can get a hold of. The mind was born with this master-like judgeaholic power. It can judge anything in milliseconds. You may not have realized this yet. Probably in the last 15 minutes, your mind passed 10 judgments on yourself, someone else, or something in the world around you as either good or bad. The judgment mind is perpetually busy working away at labeling life. And this workaholic is a slippery gremlin to catch. We are so accustomed to the mind judging everything in life. It's as if we've been soaking our hands in warm water for 25 years and we don't realize that it's completely wrinkled and about to fall off. So just to clarify exactly what judgment is the mind labeling something in life as either good or bad, but not both. It is a one-sided viewpoint of existence, which separates and divides. Interestingly, judgment manifests only when we are living up in the head and are disconnected from our hearts. When we are living from the heart, the mind cannot judge. This occurs because the heart is free from duality, and the mind can only exist in duality, seeing black and white. The heart cannot get hooked in whatever the mind believes is only good or only bad. When the heart is leading the way, we are free from the perpetual prison of the judging mind. If we are to be free from judgment, we must choose to drop out of the head and into the heart. The mind will quiet and become very still. From this space, we can watch our mind closely and see just how slippery its judgmental habit is. We can see how it tends to avoid what it deems as scary. The mind often believes that if I get what I want, this is good, then I will be happy. And if I get what I don't want, this is bad, and then I'll be unhappy. The more enlightened path, however, is understanding that in this great divine, supreme, all-intelligent universe, we are going to get it all. We always, always, always get what we want and what we don't want. For example, we might manifest our dreams, dream partner, or soulmate, only to later realize that they trigger our deepest, darkest issues and childhood insecurities to surface every day. Or perhaps we spend half our life running in the great social rat race, being devoted to striving, achieving big, luxurious dreams, and becoming financially free, only to realize later that we missed out on so many beautiful sunsets while we were indoors chasing some fantasy. Life, always both. We get death and birth. We always get both. And this polar opposite is inside everything that exists. The yin is contained within the yang, and the yang within the yin. The light within the dark within the light. The more often we practice seeing, feeling into, and accepting how we always get what we want and what we don't want in life, the judgmental mind just drops on its own accord. We naturally start living every day in deep harmony with existence. We become vulnerable to existence again. And in this sweet humility, we can feel the great perfection of this life. We deeply accept that this existence is the expression of the highest intelligence, and that the good and bad judgment plan is the smartest plan available from God to create a spiritual awakening experience inside every being on this earth. See if you can find a single situation, person or thing of this world that is only 100% positive and does not also have the tiniest hidden negative byproduct within it. If you think you found something, like a new flower budding or an amazing sunset, just wait and investigate it a bit longer, as both sides will eventually show. There is always another side to the coin, to the flower, as the flower will one day wither away and the amazing sunset colors always fade into the darkness. We always get both. The rose always comes with a few thorns, even if they are small. So my invitation for you today is to free yourselves from the judgment habit. You can do this. Just start looking deeper into yourselves and accept any judgment you may have. Like, I'm too fat, too short, too ugly, too poor, too dumb, too smart, too much in my head. Welcome all the judgments you have about yourself, and just don't reject, avoid, or judge them. See them for what they are. They are one-sided judgments that you have about you. When you can truly see and welcome the judgment, it will have less energy and magnetic pull on you. And in a matter of minutes, the contracting hard feeling around the judgmental thought will lessen, drop into stillness, and you will become truly free from it. As far as this welcoming process works, the secret is moving totally into the experience of judging. When you consciously are feeling only one side of the judgment, awareness grows in you. You cannot fall into that old judgment again so easily next time. You can see just how it impacts your mind, emotions, and heart. And when you remain in a one-sided experience of this life, deeply and fully for a long time, something inside you will soon tire. And then the judgment pendulum just swings to the other side. For example, you may feel and say, I'm never good enough. I cannot do anything right. After welcoming that judgment and feeling for 5 to 10 or even 20 minutes, something in you will exhaust itself, release the contraction, and wake up. This smaller, more enlightened aspect inside you will sneak in and perceive that on some level you are doing everything right and you are totally good enough. When you welcome judgment, the judgment pendulum soon swings. And this allows you to know what perfect peace feels like. Now, some people may think that always welcoming and acknowledging both the good and the bad in life is just some boring, fatalistic, nihilistic, uncreative path that only leads to a state of apathy. It's quite the contrary is true. By learning to accept and welcome it all, we find that we are truly okay with everything that is and feel a more spacious quality within ourselves. We feel we have more time to develop our ability to expand consciousness and relax into our lives. From this expanded space, we dramatically increase our manifesting vibration, deepen our state of inner peace, and become a magnet for the most amazing life situations to occur. You will find that the welcoming process is extremely powerful, simply because it leaves nothing out. It comes from a deep spiritual place inside you that is saying yes to the totality of your existence. You are just not interested in fighting, proving anything, or resisting life anymore. Instead, you move and feel totally fluid like water, without resistance, force, or control. In this state, it's so easy to realize that God is everywhere and in everything. Don't judge a day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. Robert Louis Stevenson. It is this deep, welcoming mind that creates an enlightened mindset where we actually feel, see, and understand the divine perfection of this life. We become more interesting people as we stop wasting our energy trying to negate others, ourselves, or continuously be upset with the way life is. In a mind that is free from all judgments of ourselves and others, we naturally appreciate it all. We can see that the glass is half empty and half full at the same time. We can feel this infinite, empty universe all around us, and also sense how the sun is always rising somewhere on the planet, sharing and radiating its brilliant light. Living in the enlightened mindset is like floating in a sea of orgasm, waves of deep cosmic opening to joy, happiness, appreciation, and ecstasy can actually waft through our body at any time. When the mind is not occupied with judgments, we have more energy to make more love, explore our spiritual nature, taste the freedom that exists at the core of our beings. And when we live daily in this enlightened mind state, everything inside us changes. All the previous pain we've been carrying seems to have mysteriously disappeared. We can naturally and fully relax into our divine balanced nature. And what I find is the most interesting aspect of all is that this judgment-free, enlightened mind is our most natural state. Judgment-free, enlightened mind is our most natural state. It is already inside of us and exists at the core of who we are, at the seed of our consciousness itself. We can only experience it directly, however, when we have respect and reverence for the perfect balance that exists in everything. When we acknowledge the divine balance within every situation, person, coincidence, accident, belief, memory, and atom throughout the universe, we can open up to it. The more acceptance we have that there's always good in the bad and bad in the good, something deeper inside us lets go. And we can finally relax into our deepest spiritual experience of life. When the mind calls off the search for defining and redefining what's good and bad, we have an infinite reservoir of creative energy to surrender fully to our souls. This enlightened life is not just about cultivating a deeper relationship with our minds. It's about getting beyond the mind. When we master our minds, we will no longer live in fear. When the mind falls from its altar, we rise to the summit. As we learn how to drop into a perpetual state of surrender, allowing the greater intelligence of the universe to run the entire show, we see how every precious moment in life has this bigger universal force behind it all. In seeing this, the mind totally gives up, and we realize that we have become the perfection that exists within everything. With enough awareness, we can totally stop the judgmental mind habit and wake up from the addiction. Then we'll know what real freedom is like, and nothing else will satisfy more than this freedom. The true freedom is free from all forms of pain. It is the greatest experience of this life. This means the mind can slip back into clinging to delusion and desire, and you don't. The mind can crave, whine, yearn to be free, yet you know that you are the one behind it who is actually already free. You remain the watcher, deeply detached and liberated from the mind's antics. It's the greatest, deep, eternal loving of all when you realize that you are not your mind. The more we practice welcoming judgments, the easier it becomes to see the mind and how to be free from it. When we can always see the good, the bad, and the balance between the meeting of the two, then the struggle of life doesn't matter so much anymore. The mind soon gets trained to only see balance and perfection. It automatically observes how the good is in the bad and the bad is in the good, and how these two worlds always collide. There is nothing left but freedom. There is just the pure observer, watching and witnessing it all. Rely on the essence of your pure wisdom mind, not on judgmental perceptions. Rely on the spirit and the meaning of the teachings, not on the words. Buddhist. The enlightenment and enlightened judgment-free mind is always available and shows up when we release the need to be right and instead create more room to be happy. Happiness through inner peace becomes the goal, instead of striving and focusing on surviving this life. With inner peace as the priority, the dualistic mind soon becomes free from attachment, desire, resistance, and contraction. We surrender to the heart and can actually feel deeply okay with whatever manifests and does not manifest in our lives. The enlightened mindset is not hard to achieve. It just takes the most deeply rooted devotion to ourselves. We must choose to be willing to know ourselves intimately, never stray from exploring further about who and what we are. This exploration leads to a profound honoring of the sacredness in all things in this life. We start honoring that this balanced state of perfection is everywhere, and we have nothing to complain about or try to change in ourselves anymore. Instead, we start worshiping everything around us. We see everything and everyone as the divine in physical form. We bow down to this very ordinary life and call it God. We look into the blade of grass and understand how it's just as sacred and important as our entire galaxy. To remain in a judgment-free, enlightened mind every day, we must choose to look at what cannot be looked at and revel in being totally real with our pain. If we wish to remain liberated, we must be willing to see where we are still in prison, fighting to get out. As long as we are fighting, we are still not truly free. So we must always be aware of the slippery mind. We must never allow the sneaky judgments to take over us again. We must be 100% creatively devoted to continuously being awake, aware, and ready to step beyond a seemingly safe, judgmental world. We must become the black sheep of this world if we are to be truly free. We cannot ever agree with anyone who says that some things are just 100% bad and nothing good at all will ever come out of it. We must stop all movement whenever any judgment arises. We must watch our thoughts and beliefs vigilantly. We be totally aware whenever the mind starts believing in some final truth. We must do everything we can so that the ego cannot harden and cling to any opinions formed or thoughts containing right and wrong beliefs. This path takes some serious devotion. Blaming holds you in the energy of the duality of a victim and abuser. Forgiving is a direct way of reclaiming your power and freeing yourself to love beyond judgment, grace alone. Some people will tell you how the universe is not already in a perfect design. They might try to make you believe, a believer, that you should not only get what you want and nothing else, that you should get only what you want, nothing else. Well, the spiritual awakening process is always much deeper and more complex than it appears to be. If the universe was deeper and more complex, it was set up this way. The great mystery would be gone. If we should never know what a block, problem, pain, or failure was like, we would be without direction, feeling perpetually numb, and have no longing to dig deep inside our souls to find our life's mission, creativity, and spiritual path. The universe is already set up in the most intelligent manner. It's designed so that we can get a good, solid taste of suffering, anxiety, or inner turmoil and use it to awaken within. Whenever we go unconscious and forget the divine, all-intelligent universe is everywhere around us, we instantly suffer. Whenever we allow the mind to form any judgment and register only one side of reality, our problems begin. This universe loves us so much that it doesn't want us to live in any lie. So it wakes us up with a little stress, anxiety, or emotional pain. If we don't stop and drop our judgments, another level of suffering will soon manifest. This pain is our most perfect and most loving teacher. And by welcoming it fully, we lead back to our real state of love, enlightenment, and freedom. The moment you start seeing life as non-serious, playfulness, all the burden of your heart disappears. All the fear of life, of love, everything disappears. One starts living so lightly that one can fly in the open sky. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies we're in, head to toe, inside and out. Releasing all the things that we have attached, attracted. And we attract them through our thoughts. And believe me, none of us are exempt from it. And so as we attract them, they build up. Body becomes stressed. We get so used to being stressed that we don't know we're stressed. As a matter of fact, we think we're relaxed when we're actually stressed. So these are all fears. That's what they are. They're all fears lined up, literally lined up, and we ignore them most of the time. They don't go away. And then finally, when one goes away, another one takes its place. So you basically sit and you address each one out of curiosity. What's this fear about? Why am I having this fear? Why is it reoccurring? And you'll watch what happens. They all disappear. Because when you relax the body, you still the mind. You still the ego mind. Because as you're relaxing the body, you're breathing, right? And your breath is divine positive energy. So when the body relaxes and you just dump all of that crap that we attract, you move into the now. And the breath is actually the now. There's no tomorrow. There never has been a tomorrow. There's no yesterday. It's only the now. Being in the moment, moment to moment. Space between heartbeats. It's your breath. Have you ever heard of, oh, I'm going to have yesterday's breath or tomorrow's breath? And the breath is very divine and powerful because soul enters the body, soul powers the body. Lungs begin to function, everything begins to come online. Hence the breath. The breath supports the body that houses the kingdom of God. So it is divine positive energy. And when you still the mind, and you still the ego, and you still the subconscious mind, you're in peace. You're not thinking, you're not really doing anything but just being. You surrender to all of the rights, the wrongs, the judgments, everything. And they all just flood away. Now, some of us, well, we all reminisce. We have a library. Each of us has a library. Library is in our subconscious mind. And we stack all the books there. Those are all of the memories, all of everything that we've ever experienced in this life and maybe others. Good, the bad, and the ugly. And, you know, something will spark at a song and you reminisce and you just, that was a wonderful time. And it's fun. And, of course, we also visit the ones that aren't too great. And then because we do, as far as our experiences, it helps us on our path. But some of us will stay in the past. And remember, it's dead. It's gone. There's nothing there. And we stay there so long that it's probably, I don't think it's consciously doing it. But then we will take the past, bring it into a future that doesn't exist, create that future from that past. We live that past and that future. That's why a lot of people say, no matter what we do, we always end up here. Others of us will go into the future that doesn't exist because we create the future in the now. But we still go there and we wander around and we ask ourselves all kinds of questions. When's this going to happen? When's that going to happen? When am I going to have this? When am I going to have that? You know? How come nothing ever works out for me? Why is that? You know, I have a black cloud follow me around all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it is. Why is it that way? But we don't ever get any answers, truly don't. That's why the now. The now is all we have. It's all we've ever had. Where do you think all the worries come from? The stresses, the fears, the anxieties? Because we're wandering off into tomorrow,
and back into yesterday. So we're like, we're like sticky fly paper. That sticky, the yellow things that these flies stick to. And it's like everything's sticking to us. And the now is the center and the focus of peace. Gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, deep gratitude. But how do we stay in the now? Because all of us are bombarded with tens of millions of thoughts, and the thoughts are programs. They really are. They're floating by us in clouds in the sky, superhighway, and we're just grabbing them. We grab them, and most of the time we don't. We just boom, we wander off, and we don't even know we wandered off. And this is when you are gentle, kind, generous, humble to yourself. And you maintain 24/7 deep eternal gratitude. And so when it's really great when you're consciously where you say, okay, so not a big deal. I've moved off. I'm in these thoughts. They aren't my thoughts. But I'll focus my breath, and I'll be in the now. And every time you focus on your breath, you're in the now. You don't have to sit there and almost, pass out by taking deep, huge breaths. You breathe easy and deeply. And you're in the now. And that's a practice that you have with you all the time. You just call upon it, and you're in the now. Now, when you look at the body, and you can view the body through your heart-mind, and your heart-mind is motion picture, because you're not the body. You're the God within the body. You're the God source of pure consciousness. So you notice that from the tailbone of that body to the top of the head are these chakras, which means wheel. And these are wheels of light. They're etheric and spiritual. They're not, you can't pick them up. Just like you, the God, is spiritual, etheric energy. So you flow through these, all different colors, all focused and centered. Your root chakra, which is your tailbone, sacral chakra, sexual organs, reproductive system, heart chakra, chest area, third eye chakra, crown chakra, but when you get to know all of seven, you begin to understand why your body is the way it is. And you flow through that as the God. You flow from the Muladhara, the root chakra, the Vadasthana, the sacral chakra, then the Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, the Anahata, the heart chakra, the Vishuddha, throat chakra, the Ajna, third eye chakra, the Sahasrara, the crown chakra. You, the God, flows through those. And you literally are an intimate understanding as the God that you are of that body, of every quantum quark, everything, all of your organs, all of your tissues, and all of your emotions. This is why we say that we are the power of healing these bodies that we're in. And eventually, we will get so efficient at it, we'll be able to do it in a matter of a blink of the eye. This is part of our journey of knowing who and what we are in these bodies. Now, the soul enters the body. The mother, the body, the soul of the mother powers the fetus body, baby body. And as soon as that baby is moving out utero, the soul enters the body. And then the soul takes over and keeps the body powered. So the soul, the God, the pure consciousness, the God source, is the heaven. And the body is the earth. Heaven on earth. Now, those of us who are consciously aware that we are of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, and the purest of the purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace, know that every step we take on this planet, we're creating paradise. We also shine our light, our God force, love, light, energy within these bodies, outward, 360 degrees, nonstop, eternally, 24/7, flooding everything, saturating everything, bathing everything. All life, the highest supreme value in the universes. And we're doing this nonstop. So this is a planet that is being transformed from vile, disruptive, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, corrupted souls, into a God planet paradise because of the higher vibrational frequencies of us connecting deeper and deeper with the gods within us. Now, we know that we have parts of ourselves, not the bodies, but the gods within the bodies. And some of the parts are asleep. They just won't awaken. They're with us, but they don't participate. The rest of the ones that are awake are the ones that we communicate and reach out to. Because such a high vibrational frequency in the meditation, any of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, do not come near us. They'll vaporize. So this is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And all the light energy beings come in gigaplexes. One gigaplex fills this universe with not even a square inch of sacred space to spare. They come in trillions of gigaplexes from every direction. Now this includes the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesha, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Vedantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. Many, many, many more. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, or garden beneath earth. All the galactics, the celestials, the off-worlders. All of us. And in uncountable numbers. Hundreds of millions, hundreds of billions, hundreds of trillions of gigaplexes. Now, the light energy beings on this planet, with the eyes with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. And so they come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, and configurations of which we never see. But we do have an understanding of a fraction of them. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, many, many, many more. The archangels, they're a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other. But we interact with them quite a bit. A lot of the times you kind of have a funny feeling that And other times we actually, after the interaction, that was an angel. That just wasn't a regular interaction. And then you experience a little bliss. Now, they deliver the same message, but it's delivered in just countless, uncountable ways. And isn't it absolutely glorious, spectacular, and wonderful to be alive in these bodies? And that is bliss. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands in number. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can surround any of us because they can hold a large number in a small area. Now, the Ascended Masters, they have mastered ascending into physical form, out of physical form, hold pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical form, are mastering physical form, creating our experiences to perfect our creations. Now, the off-worlders, Galactic Celestials, we're only familiar with a smidgen of them. Over 1,000 species travel through the solar system every day, trillions throughout the universes every day. And the ones that we're aware of are the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the felines, Zeta Reticuli, Nords, Greys, Anunnaki, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Abion. Many, many, many more. Now, this particular awareness group has been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And all of us, consciously aware, arm in arm, hand in hand, are in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, peace, joy, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. And we're all God. And we're all love. And our God force love light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God source within each and every single one of us. It is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. And we're flooding this planet. An whole life, the highest supreme value in the universe, right now. We begin to ascend above the planet. We come into full contact of a massive ocean of glitter. It's everywhere. And this glitter is highly unusual because it is flashing constantly. So it's not just shimmering, but it's sending light flashes out, brilliant, multicolored everywhere, trillions per second. It's like a trillion time more intense ballroom ball globe that has the mirrors that reflect the light. And it's flashing everywhere. We're curious, so we look at the points of reflection and we go in and we see that they're perfectly etched tiny microscopic mirrors. So we penetrate the mirrors. We discover that all of us gathered are learning and teaching, teaching and learning from each other. A blade of grass, a pine needle, a rabbit, a squirrel, a bird, everything. We are learning and teaching and learning.
So whoever walks into your life, whenever, for however period of time, instead of using judgment on their surface, ask yourselves, what are they teaching me? What am I learning? And what are they learning from me? And what am I teaching them? We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with a white fire armor. Nothing like the armor on this planet, way beyond that. It emanates from the God source, the God force love light energy within each and every single one of us. It cannot be penetrated. It cannot be manipulated or tricked or deceived. It never loses its power. We are protected always. All the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, no demon possession, no attachments. If they get close to us, they'll vaporize. That's how high our frequency is. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, anger, greed, deception, revenge, jealousy, hurriedness, anxiety, fear, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. The first one is the purple transmuting flame. We created this to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them back to pure consciousness where they are no more. Immediately following that is the violet ray. This is a column of light that we created to remind ourselves that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest. Eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we created that reminds us all that we are, the gods within these bodies are the sun, the sunlight. The sun sets and the sun rises, the rain and the rainbows, the trees, the forests, the soils, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the ocean fronts, the mountains, the leaves, everything. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you see or view a sunset or a sunrise, starry-lit night sky, ocean front, rainbow, it is you. It is the God within that body. You're the beauty. You're the divineness, the majesty, the greatness. Always have been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it, if we're carrying physical form.
Why do we do it? Because we can. We come into full contact with a massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower, larger than the solar system. The center of the column is this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is a golden white bowl of light. It is surrounded by numerous rings of multicolored lights, all sending a wave of a warm, sparkling mist, penetrating us from head to toe, inside and out, nonstop. It's like a warm embrace that never ends. Now, the golden white ball of light, it is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude, then peace, then gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness. Well-being, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, great abundance, great prosperity. It's endless. And then we discover that it is a reflection of the gods within these bodies. At the top, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, 24/7, like it's doing right now. And it is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. We are drops of this golden ocean. We also contain the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean of the drops, drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It says center circle. We created this sphere well over 3.5 years ago. We have over 1,600 meditations in perpetual motion. They don't weaken. They don't dissipate. They don't go away. They don't lose their power. They, in fact, increase every single second. All of us gathered every day, 7 days a week, moving towards 4 years of these meditations for the complete liberation of this planet and all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. You can feel this energy. You can tap into it any time you choose. If you're being challenged with something, sit in quietness and feel the energy of these meditations that have accumulated for these last years. Bathe in the deep eternal love and gratitude. Feel the frequency and the shifting. Look at the plants, the animals. Look at everything. Sit in nature. View it. Don't judge it, because it is you. Instead of saying, boy, isn't that beautiful, you've missed the point. You look at it and say, wow, I look really good as a tree. Or a leaf. The God that I am. Or a star in the sky. Join you in the meditation, return to close us out.
Take an easy breath in. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. We all have the energy. We have all that we will ever need. Still, we are poor. Still, we are beggars. We have not used our energy. We have not opened our treasure yet. We have not even looked at what God has given to us. Without looking in, we are rushing out, hence the misery. And the misery is going to remain because we cannot find anything in the outside world that can satisfy. Nobody has ever found anything in the outside world that can satisfy. We can have the whole kingdom of the earth. You can become a Chakravartin, the ruler of the whole earth, of all of the 7 continents. And a person who rules over all the 7 continents, called a Chakravartin, even if you become a Chakravartin, you will remain poor. You will not gain anything. In fact, you will have lost much, because your whole life you will have been struggling for the trivial, for the mundane, for the meaningless, for the futile, which is going to be taken away by death at any moment. Unless you have something of the within, you are not going to become rich. Only the kingdom of the within makes one rich, because even death cannot take it away. It cannot be robbed. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be taken away. Once you have known it, it is yours forever. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Tuesday, September 28, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.